Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Arrogant. In this video I'd like to show you gameplay of my Barbarian tank build, essentially where I have built up my character to the minimal of 20,000 item level with really cheap enchantments and easy farmable gear. So I queued up in my random queues and I got Castle Ravenloft. So in this video I'm just going to jump between all three of the bosses, kind of cutting out most of the mob scenes in between. So here we have the three sisters of Strad. This took us about 15 minutes total, just over, to defeat all three of these kind of mini bosses. Here we go, we have some weird issue where their aggro is completely bugged out. Managed to lure her over here, however we still have a second sister stuck there. I'm here typing it to the book wielder when bam, I get smashed by 285 billion damage because I had 10 of those stacks. Didn't quite realize it when I was typing. You have to block when you have those stacks. You can see they're racking up there. I currently have 8 and it'll go up to a maximum of 10. Now I have 10 and you need to make sure you keep blocking. Here we killed the first sister after a good chunk of 8 minutes I believe, and you have to kill this portal of power before it explodes and kills everybody. One of the sisters there will still remain in mist form, and one of the person needs to pick up that book and lure her away essentially while you kill the second sister. Again, we're having some issues, but finally we managed to get her here and the other sister on the opposite side so that she isn't immune, and we get her in this spot and we get her all the way down. We seem to have some weird aggro issue here again. My bar is fully red. However, she seems adamant to kill the other, and I get turned into this weird shade thingy. Anyway, we kill her, and we have to again kill the portal that will spawn in the middle before it blows up. Here's the portal again. At this point, I'm using Bloodletter, and I'm also using my other damage power there, Indomitable Battle Strike. Anyway, we're finally on to the third final sister. This one's relatively easier to kill because we have all of the DPS there available then. You don't have that one dude occupied with the book doing not much else. Anyway, before you kill her, she comes and she steals the hilt of the Sun Sword off you, and then you proceed on through the dungeon killing these mobs. You get to the second boss then, the Arcaleth, this big kind of stone golem guy. He's pretty actually nasty to tank as a tank, since hits are actually pretty hefty. Also, there's some mechanics there where if you don't actually fully block the hits that he deals you, he'll go into this rage spinny mode, which I'll show you further on. Anyway, the trick here is positioning. As a DPS, you need to make sure you're on the right side so you don't get smashed like those guys. You need to be right behind the boss to 30 degrees left or right, depending on which side he swings his sword. Anyway, both of those are knocked there. I can't really go revive them because I'll just kite the boss towards them and they'll probably just die again after I pick them up. Unfortunately there, my other teammates didn't manage to pick up that other DPS before she died. Again, here's another sword swipe and the DPS aren't quick enough to get out of the way. At this point, I'm trying to bring the boss to this pillar because as soon as he starts spinning, you can only break him out of that spinning through that pillar. That attack there that he just did is a must to block for the tank or he starts spinning. I was busy reviving my teammates. We managed to get him just in time to the pillar, which he breaks then, he gets stunned, and then I can revive him before I die myself. Anyway, I didn't die, so I'm lucky. So he got stunned and we're DPSing him down. We're still 1 DPS down. We have 3 pillars left. Hopefully we can still do it within time. Blocking this hit, you can see it nearly drains all of my stamina there. I'm currently using the powers Enduring Shout for kind of survivability, my Punishing Charge for the hard taunt, and also Come and Get It for a hard taunt. However, I did switch over to Ignore Weakness just after the start of the fight when I knew it would have the aggro, just to make sure I have that stamina. You can see he went into another spinning phase and I stunned him there with that other pillar. Here I brought him over to this pillar, thinking that I could just have him beside the pillar so when he starts spinning he immediately gets stunned. However, you'll see something here now. I block that big hit and then he's going to swing at me again. I block this again. However, you can see there it took out the pillar. I don't know if this is a bug or a mechanic, but you're best off just fighting him in the middle. So now he starts spinning and he knocks out our final pillar. Anyway, fortunately we do have enough DPS to get him all the way down and essentially kill him. And here we go. The DPS lands final strike, and you're thrown into the cutscene of Strad being very disappointed with one of his favourite pets, and the Arcaleth finally falls apart. So, now we're proceeding on to the Hall of Strad himself. Before we get there, we get to this interesting hallway. I'm using Mighty Leap there, as you can see in my power tray, and you can see I need to get past all of these little zombies, and just about managed to get to that altar to pop it before they completely kill me. However, they do kill me just after, before that sun gets rid of them. Anyway, you then just fight those werewolves, and then you proceed on and you meet the final sister, who gets burnt up by the sunblade. It doesn't really show it in there, it's cutscene, it's kind of buggy. Anyway, she drops it, and we get to pick it up now, and it's actually active. Me as the tank decided to pick it up for great fun, and yeah, wasn't such a good idea. You're best off just using your tanky skills so you can survive and help your rest of your party survive. So, on to the final boss, Strad Von Zaravich. So, here we go. We finally got here. This is our first try. As you'll see, we tried multiple times and not succeeding. So, these are the basic mechanics. You have these tiers which will spawn, and then they blow up, causing that big area of effect. You have to move way before they preempt that red area. However, you need to move well before the red areas spawn. As you can see what I'm doing here, moving away from them, and I know exactly where they're going to essentially make all the red already because of the patterns on the floor. It's fairly easy to see. You just need to space yourself out and move accordingly. Anyway, one of our teammates is captured and brought into a dream state. He's put in a different area, and the rest of us have to kill these essentially nightmare dudes who are holding the other guy in a nightmare. That DPS there stood in the middle and got completely zapped by Strad Von Zaravich's thirsts, essentially. That's what the artifacts call that create those. Another DPS died there again. Anyway, we managed to get the healer, who was in that nightmare, out of it, and the Sun Sword spawns back in, powered, and we can actually use it now. I decided to pick it up, however I didn't seem to have the aggro at the very beginning there, and Strad seemed adamant to put off his full rotation onto this unfortunate DPS. You can see I do have the aggro there, but he still goes and kills that DPS outright. You can see another mechanic is these arrows with all these bats. You have to make sure you bring it over these candles ASAP, otherwise they'll kill you. You can see I'm moving back to the middle for those tiers before they burst. I'm not quite sure if the official name is the tiers, but anyway. It looks like this time I am the one who's brought into that dream state. You're brought into exactly the same area, however all of your allies start attacking you. For your allies, as you saw previously, I am strung up in the middle between these guys, and your power is to basically kill those dudes. What you are going to do down here is you can see that executioner has spawned in, and another one has spawned on the other side. They stun you. When they get close to you, they're going to just one-shot you. No matter who you are and what you are, they don't give a damn, they're just going to one-shot you. They stun you when they come within a close enough distance. You can see 3 of them spawned in. At this point, I've given up. I use Punishing Charge, and just in time they get me out of there before the dude just one-shots me. And yeah, I'm like, phew, that was close. Anyway, Strad's spawning back down on the platform, and essentially you just go back into that same mechanics phase. He'll fight you, you get these tier bursts. Anyway, we didn't succeed in this way, no way. You can see there in the fight, one of the DPS decided he'd drop out, allowing us to freely drop out as well. However, me and this rogue were adamant to stay here, so I decided I'm just going to request reinforcements and see what other players we can get, and see if we can complete it with them. So we finally get our new arrivals and we attempt to defeat Strad once again. This time, however, we get him down to quite a significant amount of HP, and at this point I figure out I can just do this. I can use the lunge power of the sword, and Strad just keeps walking towards me. We get him down to 0% with this, however we still have to go through the mechanics. The sword gets cursed, spawns in the middle, I get these arrows, the tears are bursting off, somebody gets thrown in a nightmare, and so on and so forth. You get many of those repetitive phases. Even if you get him down to 0% HP, you still have to do, I think it is, 3 of those phases before the final phase happens, which should be coming up any second now. And here we go, the Brink of Death. We all get that debuff, and we all get thrown up, halfway up, kind of levitated. We all have to group up in the middle, and this is the crucial point to use the sword. When that sword shouts now, then you have to raise this barrier. All this damage starts bursting out towards you. Strad is adamantly trying to kill us all. Then it bursts and we all get dropped down. If you mistime the sword's daily power on that, you all die and it's a wipe. I rushed to the edge, unfortunately completely the wrong side. I believe there's only one small section on the side. And there we go, we finally beat him. Anyway, there we go. That was the first time I completed it. You saw I got all those achievements there, and here's some loot. So, hopefully this will be helpful for those new barbarians who wish to tank. And here's some gameplay. It's entirely possible to complete Castle Ravenloft. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.